Well, thank you very much, Amany, for joining us here at the first EdTech Tools Fest, the continuation of the virtual roundtable. And it's my great privilege to introduce you to the audience. And we're looking forward to your tools potpourri, called potpourri, which is like a tools kit. Amany and myself, we've had the privilege of actually working together, lecturing together at a university in Germany. And it's been such an incredibly enriching experience to be working with Amany so closely, because she is an utmost expert on so many different tools and things, and technology-wise, a real whiz kid. And Amany is with over 20 years of experience in education. She holds a master in TESOL. She holds a master in instructional technology. She is a VR and AI and AR expert, and she consults in VR solutions. She designs simulations. She works, like she knows how to program things in Python. She integrates with Unity 3D. She works in Blender. There's not a tool on this planet that she doesn't really feel like exploring. And if it was for her, the day could last twice as long as, 3 times as long as it really does. And this is why she also is one of those who spends hours and hours online and at night and what have you. At the same time, she's pursuing her doctoral degree. Yeah, so she's working on actually doing a doctorate degree in AI chatbots. And AI chatbots is the one thing that we've been teaching together. And it is absolutely amazing how she approaches the subject with students who have no programming capabilities, and how we can work on this one. Thank you. Without further ado, over to you, Amany.
Thank you so much, Heike, for this fascinating introduction. I feel like if I would introduce myself, I wouldn't even say half of what you said, but as I always say, it's always a great pleasure and always an honor to be in your conference and to be with the EVO team, Doris, Helena, and yourself. And it's always great to be with you guys. So I'm going to share a screen, but I'd like to know how much time do I have? Is it like 40 minutes?
It was set to be 40 minutes, but we will be taking it close. Well, if Tally manages to do hers in 20, then we should be okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, my presentation is about AI-driven activities, or I would rather say AI-enhanced activities. And I wish I could share many things that I have found useful, but it wouldn't, like the time wouldn't be enough. And so I called it AI-driven activities or enhanced activities, because sometimes we may need activities in the traditional classroom. And so it is AI driven because AI suggests these activities, or we create this. I use AI for my classes, and I'm a big fan of the ChatGPT 4, so I also use it. And I know that it's not available, like you have to pay for it, but because I've been fascinated by it, I just gave an example. And so these are some of the tools and activities to ChatGPT and the GPT's interactive narrative. So the tool that I'm using is not artificial intelligence, but I'm actually found a way to create generative AI and then put that into the application. And these are the tools that I'm going to go through one by one. But first things first is what is the best practice for prompting? I'm a very lazy person when it comes to, I chat with ChatGPT a lot. And I always like try to explore what are the capabilities of ChatGPT and Gemini. I actually I'm going to publish a research paper on Gemini and large language models, including ChatGPT 3.5 and how their capabilities in a certain field. And so I found out that actually these were generated by ChatGPT itself. So I was like, okay, I want to use prompting, and how do I use it? And so it gave me these instructions. And sometimes I would ask ChatGPT, act as an expert in prompting, and I'm going to tell you about what I want, and then please ask me questions so that I can hone my prompt. And so as in computer science, they usually say jargon in, garbage in, garbage out, which means that if the prompt is poor, the output will also be poor. And so if there is a strong prompt, there will be also a strong outcome. And because ChatGPT also kind of makes lots of assumptions. Also, there is a method, or there is a term in artificial intelligence is called hallucination. And actually this, when AI hallucinates, it means that it doesn't understand the prompt. And so it just gives anything. And also sycophancy, which means that when AI is trained by developers, it usually seeks approval from the developer. And so it mimics the same thing when it acts with the user. And so strong prompting leads to a strong output. And so the tone or style, the language itself, because AI can adjust its language to the user. So sometimes I work a lot, and so sometimes I don't understand something in research, and I would say, well, simplify this or explain it to a 6-year-old. And it's really fantastic to see the imagery language that it uses in order to explain something to a 6-year-old, which I actually stopped because I don't want it to use an imagery language. I just wanted to simplify things for me. And I usually also experiment with certain approaches. Okay. So I have just created some activities just to show you. So act as a second language learning teacher, generate 10 simple riddles where students can guess words such as fridge, car, laptop. So I actually gave it these instructions, and so ChatGPT generated the 10 simple riddles. I keep your food cold, but I'm not a freezer. What I am, a fridge. I have, and sometimes it might make mistakes. So you can actually ask it again, refine your output, and you made a mistake in this. And so it actually refines its output. Act as a second language learning teacher. Create a hangman activity for students in level A. Use simple monosyllabic words in your hangman game. And then it actually recognized the word monosyllabic, and then it gave these words. This is something that students love to do. Play one of these hangman games with me. And so, yeah, so actually ChatGPT wanted to play with me, and so I played it. So actually you can ask the students to put this prompt, and they can to put a different prompt, customize it, or so that the ChatGPT can generate the word. It doesn't tell it to the student, and then it would, and then the students would do that. Yeah, so these are some activities. I'm actually gonna send you a link for these activities. Generate a mystery solving activity instructions where students should work with each other to solve the problem using past perfect and past tense. This mystery can be a crime scene investigation. So I love doing crime scene investigations. Students love to be the police officer, and so it's like a role play activity. And the victims, and they need to guess. Actually, the class goes very engaging. So I was like, how would ChatGPT create instructions? And actually, this is something that sometimes I don't find time to create detailed instructions. And so I asked ChatGPT to give instructions for role play activities, and then I can also modify this. Also, if you're teaching, for example, students who speak another language like French, for example, It can also give translations. I was actually in India last year and I showed them an example and they corrected me. But since ChatGPT sometimes cannot understand cultural nuances and linguistic differences, especially in terms of dialects. And so I was in the South, probably ChatGPT translated it in Hindi like the North, probably, I don't know, but I see students from different parts of India, they say that Hindi in itself may differ from one state to another. So probably it could have been correct, but I don't know. So so this means that of course you need to be fluent in the second language or probably consult someone. And then you can use examples with the translations. Okay. The second one is interactive fiction, and this is the Enchanted Schoolyard. This is actually a choose your own adventure game. Sorry, it's a choose your own adventure story. And once I write my name, it's actually welcomes me. Welcome, Amany, to the Enchanted Schoolyard, in a magical realm hidden from the ordinary world where so it's about bullying. So the story is about bullying, and it was aimed for discussion among the students. And so we have three characters: Alex, who is the one who's always bullied by Gideon, and Ilara, who is the bystander. And then you would, for example, choose to be in Alex's shoes, and then you would, so Alex is a hedgehog, and so you choose, and then you would read the story, and then you would go back to become Gideon or Ilara, and so this whole story and images were created by ChatGPT, where I actually asked it. I'm going to explain that. So F5. Okay. Okay. So let me show you with an example. So Thumper the rabbit. This would show how Twinery works and how to use prompts for ChatGPT. Okay. Create a story about the rabbit that left home looking for food and didn't listen to his mother's advice to eat carrots. It's a very traditional story. And so first, in terms of interactive narrative, the method in terms of creating these stories is actually creating the plot first, and then diverting from the plot, okay? Creating other versions. So first we have to create a story, one story, and then asking ChatGPT to branch the narrative. So now begin to branch this narrative, create meaningful early decisions for the readers. I want them to begin engaging with the story, but I also don't want early decisions to penalize them so they lose hope for a fun outcome and so on. So I gave it a detailed description. And so this is the introduction for that you would see when you start the story. And then you choose a path, the berry bush trail, the nut grove, the wildflower meadow, and then ChatGPT would give you the berry bush trail, the first branch, and then part of the story in it, and then the decisions inside this branch, and then the second one and the decisions inside this branch, and so on. And so let me show you Twinery. So this is just a sample. And so I put this Thumper, the young adventurous rabbit student entrance, and then you would put between two brackets the paths, and then when you create these paths, it will actually create them here. Yeah, I didn't put anything here, so this was just an example. And then Thumper hops along the trail, marveling at the berries, blah, 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 and then you would choose one of these decisions. And so it's really engaging for students to read. So it's not linear like a book. So it's more engaging. It would stir students like curiosity about the characters, and also they would give feedback. And so this is how the Enchanted Yard was written. So I started with the main plot, and then I created interactive narrative. The second one is the GPTs. I know that very, very few teachers probably use the ChatGPT 4, but I'm very fascinated by it, and because I teach sometimes courses where it's like probably a new program or something, and then they ask me to teach a course. I don't have a syllabus, and so the GPTs are actually expert GPTs with either contents or APIs that you would generate lots of things. It's not only mind maps, it could be research, it could be different things. And so it depends on your interest. You might find, because it's still new, and many people or many companies are still experimenting with it. And so but it's very, very useful. And so one of the things I really love is the AI diagram designer, and act as an ESL teacher and generate mind map for an academic 5-paragraph essay, starting with the introduction and includes. So this is just a very, very simple example, but you can actually create more complex ones. And this is how it generated. So it generated without a topic. So something that I could teach in my class. So the academic 5-paragraph essay, introduction, hook, thesis statement. I can also ask it to add like general information between the hook and thesis statement, body, paragraphs, conclusion, and so on. And based on what you generated before, create a mind map for the topic, my favorite celebrity. And so it created it here. I need to go and so, yeah, what I found is that it had the word awards in both. Well, probably this would mislead the students. Okay, so these are like controlling ideas. Okay, and so this would mislead the students. So I asked it, well, awards was mentioned twice. Can you change it under career? And then it added career highlights. So this is just an example. You can modify it. You can ask ChatGPT to regenerate better examples. But I really find it useful when I teach things that are also more complex than that. And I don't have the time to like work on creating mind maps and thinking of what could be possible things. Yes, sometimes I would teach things that are more complicated than this, and then I need something to help me. Um, yeah, okay, okay. The last thing is, sorry, the next thing is Chat PDF. How many of you have used the Chat PDF? Or how many of you know? It's okay, sorry. If you go to, it's AI diagram designer, smart mind map, and chart maker. This is a response to a question in the chat box. Okay. Yeah, so I love Chat PDF. It's helpful. It's helpful because you can upload a research paper or a reading document, and then it starts giving you the main questions. So, for example, this is I put this as an example because it's Michael Luther King's speech. I have a dream, and then what's the significance of the I have a dream speech in American history? How does the Martin Luther King use language imagery to convey his message in speech? What were the key issues and challenges faced? And so you can also ask more questions. And you can also ask ChatGPT to simplify it. Sometimes I am in a rush and I need to understand, for example, a framework or how things were done in the essay. And I would ask it, please show me the paper if it's a long document. I think the free one accepts until probably 15 to 20 pages of a document. And it also accepts up to 3 documents per day for free. And so this is a really great document that I usually use for, like, sometimes I would upload a research paper because I need to understand if it aligns with my research or not, or learning objectives or not. So maybe some of us, we teach research writing for second language learners, or we teach reading. And so I can also upload it to put some questions for the students, or to understand, like, okay, what are the most important things in this reading? So it really helps a lot um, to for students, and also for educators. Story generator. This is also a website where you put the prompt, and then it would generate it.
Could we have the link in the chat, please, Amany?
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
I'm gonna put it. I also have put all the links here. Yeah, of all the links that I'm talking about. Okay. Where's slideshow? Yeah, so a story generator, write a story about a kangaroo that lost its way home, and it would generate the story with the climax and ending. It was actually long, and so I feel like it's really cool to students love storytelling, and it would be great for them to read something that would interest them. Yeah. Photo to story generator. Sometimes we have activities in the classroom where students look at at a photo, and then they need to provide a description. And there are many ways in which we can actually use this in the classroom. We can generate different pictures by ChatGPT, and then we can ask the students which picture is actually relate to the description, or maybe they can be asked to describe the image first and see how ChatGPT, or I mean this photo to story generator describes it, and or telling a story. So sometimes I use story cubes, which are cubes like dice. You just throw them, and then once you have the pictures that appear, they would actually make a story out of it. So this can also be used as the story cubes, where you put a picture and then they start creating a story around it, which is actually really fun in class. The next one is a really great tool. It's called InVideo AI, and it doesn't have a face yet, but I love it more than Synthesia. I don't know why, but it generates. So you put the prompt. So the topic is about AI tools, and can be used in the second language learning classroom. Start with an introduction to AI tools and their importance, and then list 4 important tools that can be good for reading, writing, speaking, and listening, and list their URLs. Okay. And so it gives me this first before generating anything. So the audience, this is like a default: educators, minimalist, modern, YouTube. But then I chose language learners, and I chose inspiring, and then platform YouTube. And then I hit continue, and then it starts generating it. After generating it, I found out that there were one information that was wrong. And so I had to edit it. So you can edit media. You can actually edit the pictures. You can drag and drop one of these. You can also edit script. And so you can delete one of the scripts if you want. And then it will adjust it for you. You don't need to do anything, just delete it. Actually, while I was putting these images, I remembered the last tool that I'm going to talk about. And so I edited the script. There was something wrong here. I just deleted it and then apply changes. So it will delete this column altogether. And then as if nothing happened. It just goes smoothly, and it puts it here, and then this is the video. I'm gonna share sound.
In recent years, artificial intelligence, or AI as it's more commonly known, has steadily permeated various aspects of our lives, transforming the way we interact with the world around us. One such area that has seen a significant impact is education. AI has made its way into classrooms, promising a revolution in the way we learn. From personalized learning to intelligent tutoring, the rise of AI in education is a game changer, especially for language learners. Now, let's delve into some of the remarkable AI tools that are revolutionizing reading, writing, speaking, and listening in the realm of language learning. First up, we have Read to Me AI, an AI in recent years
Okay, so it generated an introduction, as I said, and then it started giving examples of AI tools. And so you can also change these AI tools and write your own tools, the tools that you want to talk about, or you can do that in the prompt, and then it can generate this accordingly. So I see it's a fascinating one that I would actually use because it actually abided by my instructions, and it doesn't. It actually creates, the tone is different than Synthesia. Yeah. So while I was adding these photos for InVideo AI, I remembered Descript, and Descript is an AI editing tool for videos. You edit the script, and then it changes that in the video. And actually, so sometimes we use the scissors in the video tools so that we can cut the ums and ah and so on. And so I found this tool really great because I don't need to work everything like do this. I don't have time. So I have the script and I know what I said, and it would give me the ums and ahs, and so I would just delete them, and then it will adjust the video accordingly. And I really love Descript because it helps me just edit my tool in my videos in no time and then upload it to YouTube. That's it, and thank you.
Amany,
Yes,
thank
it's
you.
called Story Dice. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Helena.
Thank you ever so much. And we've got as promised, like a fireworks of tools and their application is specifically. And we've heard earlier about InVideo, and here we've seen an example of how you actually tell InVideo to come up with a solution as well already, which is absolutely fascinating. As we are just hang on. You've kept to the time. Thank you very much indeed. You've been even shorter than expected. So we're going to ask Tal to come up. But is there still any question to Amany in the chat, which has got 2 minutes left, 3 minutes left? It was a beautiful sharing by everyone about the tools, and thank you so much. Lovely. So a great way to reduce lesson preparation time, a great way to create lesson material, to supply the students with all sorts. Still looking forward to the students themselves coming up with all of these great productions that they, for them to express language. And thank you, Amany. We'll ask Tal to come up. Tal is a first timer at the Virtual Roundtable, or what is now called the edtech Tools Conference. making you a co-host. I've been really looking forward to meeting her. Is that true that you're a first timer, or am I just getting senile?
No, it's my first time with you. You are definitely not.
Yeah, why change of the name, Leo asks. It's been, the Virtual Roundtable was part of a series of EU-funded projects which I've been able to co-initiate and be part of it. And it spanned a period of 15 years working with so many universities on these. And now this has come to a close. And my next big endeavor is edtech tools. So I've been wanting to help transition sort of the interested, the tech interested teachers into this new project of mine. It's a startup and I'm very proud of it. And we hope to generate a little bit of sort of a business opportunity for teachers. That's been my dream. For some reason, for many years, I had this dream of feeding teachers, just like Jesus, is feeding the thousands. I don't know, it stuck to me. And if I ever have this figure in my head of 4,000 teachers, I don't know why. So, but this is been my dream. I hope I get there someday. Yeah. Tal, sorry to be babbling away.
That's great.
Yeah. Yeah. So